couple of weeks. It's not a division game, but it is still a pretty intriguing matchup as you take a look at one side's offense and the other side's defense. It is Houston and Buffalo. The Bills will travel to play the Houston Texans to open up Week 12 on Thursday Night Football. Of course, Josh Allen coming off an amazing, amazing football game.
Unreal.
6 touchdowns, 3 on the ground, 3 through the air. But now he faces the #1 defense in the NFL in the Houston Texans. One of the things that Holden Kuzmark just talked about with the Oklahoma Sooners is, hey, the defense has been amazing. If the offense could just be something, then they would actually, be a pretty decent football, actually more than a decent football team. They'd kind of be upper echelon. I think the Houston Texans are thinking the same thing. However, some sad news to report from their offensive standpoint. Their quarterback will not be playing in the game. Starting quarterback is out, and it is Davis Mills who will get the start with C.J. Stroud still out under concussion protocol.
And I think this is the third straight game where Stroud is out. Either the third straight or the second straight, second straight, and he left the one game early. But I think with it being such a short week, if this game were on Sunday, I think he would play. So
I'm with you.
With next week being a long week, since you play on Thursday, don't play again, I think, until Sunday is my guess. I think it's just precautionary at this point. But second straight week, we've got an AFC East team in it.
That's true, yeah.
And Buffalo, as you mentioned, coming off a huge one. We'll talk about Josh Allen here in a second, but I feel like this guy right here doesn't really get as much love. He's starting to, in the last few years, as Josh Allen likes to say, let James cook, because James Cook cooks.
Yeah.
And he's been leading the ground game ever since Devin Singletary left Buffalo. Obviously, former Georgia standout, surely is going to get another 1,000-yard rushing season. It's got 7 touchdowns here this year. Honestly, I think him and Allen are the perfect 1-2 punch, because him and Josh Allen are you could easily make the argument that they're the 2 best players on the offense.
Absolutely.
One question I had about Buffalo coming into this year is, are you really going to rely on Khalil Shakir to be your #1 wide receiver?
Right.
And we've seen Keon Coleman, thought he was going to be really good. He had a great senior year at Florida State. Jordan Travis, I felt like he was just Keon Coleman machine.
Yeah.
And then it just doesn't seem like he's really been able to develop into what we've seen.
Right.
I know he did not play, I think, last game due to a coach's decision because he missed a team meeting. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, he started off kind of as a fan favorite. If you watch all of his press conferences in his rookie season and whatnot, it just feels like something is slipping there with Keon Coleman, because he kind of had the trajectory of a superstar in the NFL, and it hasn't really been that. I think a lot of people saw him go to Buffalo and they're like, oh no, Josh is a true #1, and it just hasn't really panned out that way. But to your point about James Cook, the offense really has, mainly because of not only Josh Allen, but the former Georgia star.
Yeah, and I think Buffalo is at an interesting crossroads here, because the Chiefs are going through this right now, but the Chiefs have already won their Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Buffalo needs to win now.
Yeah.
Because not only is Josh Allen getting older, he's going to get more expensive.
Right.
But the thing that made the Bills, and what ended the playoff streak, and what Sean McDermott wanted to do with his team, was to rebuild the defense.
Yes.
And the defense was so bad in the early 2010s. I mean, it was just laughable. And slowly did he start building the defense with Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, and all of the the other guys.
They even tried with guys like
Jermaine Edmonds back in the day as well.
Yeah, signed Von Miller, signed a couple of high profile free agents to help build that defense.
And they're just getting older. I think Poyer's in his 12th year. He's probably got 1 or 2 years left. The defense is starting to dwindle a little bit, but this guy right here is definitely not dwindling, and you need to win in the next 3 years for him. Otherwise, he's just going to be another Jim Kelly, unfortunately.
It feels like their window has been open for a while, but you can feel it starting to close a little bit, and I don't know if that means they'll look to make a coaching change or whatnot, but this is a Buffalo Bills team that I think that if you go back and look, if you spin it forward and you go back and look at Josh's career, I think a lot of people will see these years as kind of like, oh, how did that team not win a Super Bowl as loaded as they were there? So and with Josh, I think there's a bit of an up and down to his game though as well. It hasn't always been crystal clear the entire time. He talked a little bit about not playing well there in spurts especially against the Texans the last time they played.
Yeah, and honestly, he said that he didn't even play well last game, which I think is shocking.
Insane, yeah.
But let the Bills QB tell you himself.
I didn't play too well. I don't think so. Obviously in that second half we got things rolling. The dumb boneheaded decision early on, trying not to take a sack, and the one to Dawson, fourth down, trying to sneak one in there. Those plays are happening, but that first one just can't happen. But there was a couple throws throughout the game that I just feel like I want back. The one to Khalil, ball came out really good. The nose just didn't turn down. The wind just kind of sailed it high on me. There was one to Josh Palmer on the naked where I was kind of in between steps, but again, that's a throw that I should make. The one to Reggie in the end 2-point conversion, the ball on the way up hit my thigh pad and was coming out of my hand, so it was wobbling a little bit, but again, just better mechanics put me in a better spot to throw that ball there. But I can go down the list. There was just too many throws that I feel like I don't miss, and there's really no excuse for that. It's just going out there and, again, trusting the guys, and I need to make those plays when the opportunities are there, and I'm confident that we can still get things going there.
I think a lot of SEC teams are really mad at themselves for not signing Josh Allen coming out of high school. Ended up going to a very small college over Wyoming. And really balled out. But there are several ties to the SEC here in this game. We'll start with the Buffalo Bills here, and starting with your guy, James Cook.
Yeah, James Cook out of Georgia there really burst onto the scene, signed that big extension with Buffalo this past offseason. Can't forget about Ray Davis, also with Kentucky. McCole Hardman coming over from, I believe, the last team he was on was the Packers.
That's right, yeah.
Out of Georgia. So he's been a journeyman in the NFL the last few years. Elijah Moore and then Joshua Palmer out of Ole Miss and Tennessee, respectively. Dawson Knox also burst onto the scene coming out of Ole Miss. Osiris Torrance out of Florida. Fedarian Mathis from Alabama. Jordan Phillips from Oklahoma, and TJ Sanders after that big year last year with the South Carolina Gamecocks. And rounding out the former SEC standouts, Deion Walker from Kentucky, Maxwell Hairston, also from Kentucky, Tre'Davious White. We talked about it. He's starting to get up there in age. He's been a core piece for this Bills defense for a long time. And Reed Ferguson, the long snapper out of LSU.
Yeah. And Houston is a favorite in this game, mainly because C.J. Stroud is out.
Houston is a dog. You mean?
Buffalo is the favorite because C.J. Stroud is out here in this game, and it just really stinks because a lot of times with a team like Houston in a season like Stroud had his rookie season, it felt like the trajectory was going this way. But both personally and from a team perspective, it's kind of gone the other way on offense. But they still do have the number one defense in the league.
Yeah, it definitely helps. Defenses are going to keep you in games no matter what. Yeah. It's just CJ had that amazing rookie year and led him to the playoffs, but everyone talks about, all right, sophomore slump.
Yep.
And I really think you saw that in year two. I know they still made the playoffs, but still there was a lot of question around, like, okay, is CJ Stroud able to keep it up? Because, you can come into the league, and this is true across any sport. You can come into the league, have your best stuff, play your game, and you can catch teams by surprise because they don't have any film on you. But the second a team finds a weakness, they are going to exploit it. I don't care if you're a quarterback. I don't care if you're a pitcher. I don't care if you're a hitter. It does not matter. Some teams will find out what you're not good at. You just got to be able to bounce right back.
Can you adjust and figure it out? He did that in college, and you saw it. You saw the remnants of that in college when they were, okay, we'll take away the pass. Can you run? And I remember he had a semifinal game. He ran for like 130 yards there in college.
That Ohio State team, sorry. That Ohio State wide receiver room was just absolutely loaded. I mean, you got JSN balling out for Seattle right now. Garrett Wilson, who's
on that team.
Unfortunately, is stuck in New York right now. I mean, it's just absolutely nuts.
No question about it. And there's also a lot of former SEC players on the Houston Texans as well. Not only players, but their head coach, former Alabama linebacker D'Amico Ryans joining a lot of guys. I had no idea Graham Mertz was here on this team as QB3. I would think now QB2.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Graham Mertz tonight, barring something crazy happening to Davis Mills. But gotta give him some love there. Nick Chubb trying to find himself. Big news coming out today from Houston that lead running back Joe Mixon will not play at all this year. So
wow.
Nick Chubb should get a lot of carries. Damian Pierce coming from Florida. Nick Chubb obviously having to deal with Woody Marks, I think, is the lead back right now. And Jacob Johnson coming from Tennessee, moving it right along. Christian Kirk from Texas A&M. Ed Ingram from LSU. Trent Brown from Florida. Will Anderson Jr., one of the great defensive ends there for Alabama, highly touted. I think it was in the 2023 draft.
Yes, yeah. Number 2 overall. It was him and CJ.
Yeah.
Or her number 3 overall. Second pick for them.
Moving on here, Danico Autry, Mississippi State. Derek Barnett, Tennessee. Danielle Hunter from LSU. And Christian Harris from Alabama. And then rounding it out here, is it Henry To'o? To'o.
Henry To'o, yeah. Tennessee and Alabama.
Yes, Tennessee and Alabama. Yeah. The space didn't allow us to put Tennessee on there.
Exactly.
Kamari Lassiter from Georgia, Derek Stingley Jr., and Tommy Townsend, which I find it interesting that he's in Houston now because I think he was the Chiefs punter for a long time.
Right. And we see some of those guys bounce around there, but you could tell that the Houston brass really likes guys that are from the SEC.